I'm using this opportunity to discuss marriage. Because according to Igbo proverb, the aim of every relationship, the aim of every courtship is marriage. That's why there's a matter. In a boy, ya just show them because courtship can one day just wake up and become marriage. So this is why I chose to discuss this very unpalatable topic. A lot of people don't like to discuss the topic. Even when I sit down and make videos, can be 20 minutes video, 30 minutes video. Doesn't get up to 100 views in how many days. As long as it discusses marriage, people don't want to hear about it until they are ready to get married. So what I'm talking about today is things you should avoid during Igbo traditional marriage rites. Things you should never do as a man and as a woman. You're not just going to be giving the advice to men alone. I'm going to be giving advice to men and to women, believing also that there are women who are watching this very live stream. So the number one thing you must never do during Igbo traditional marriage rites is to lie. This lie can come in two different shapes, but I'm going to look at them separately. The first lie you must never tell is about the drinks that you came with. If you are to go and see your in-law and you are told to come with up wine, and for any reason you did not see up wine, you found a very good palm wine tapper that taps down wine to make it look like or taste like it is up wine. When you get to your in-laws' house, don't lie to them that you have come with up wine. Tell them it is down wine. They will tell you the processes to convert down wine to up wine. It is just by topping it a certain amount of money. Down wine can now be called up wine. It is like baptism. They will do traditional baptism immediately for down wine. It will become up wine. By topping it a little amount of money, they will rename that down wine to become up wine. Don't go and lie to them that it is up wine because it tastes very good. By the time they now drink it, they will find out it is not what you told them. You have established a relationship that is going to speak against you. You have established a relationship on lies, which will not favor you. So that is the number one lie you should never tell. Secondly, now this is for men because they are the ones who will bring drink. So let me go to the women and tell them the lie they should never tell. In N1, most part of Igbo land, even in my community, it is a taboo to pay the bride price of a young girl who is pregnant. So, if you're pregnant, if you have missed your menstrual period, Gwani, tell your mother. Your mother knows how to communicate it to your father so that they will do the right thing. What is the right thing? If for any reason a young girl, a maiden, is pregnant before they come to my family or any family in my community to talk about her marriage, one thing must be done. The would-be in-laws will be sent back to go and bring 2 goats. It is called Ewulo, defilement goat and appeasement goat. This goat is used to appease the family gods for defiling the family. The other one is used for appeasement. The goats are slaughtered and shared. It is the fine you pay for defiling their daughter, for having carnal knowledge of their daughter, for having sex before marriage. So you see, our culture prohibits sex before marriage. So the fact that your daughter is pregnant before you came for marriage, you will pay fine. 2 goats, live goats. It is not paid with money. There are some goats they will find you, they will say, go and bring money, maybe being considerate. This one is not money. The goat must be killed. It is a fine. So you see, in Igbo culture, moral chastity before marriage, it is upheld culturally, even unto this day. We don't give amnesty for it. We don't say, no, let's forget about it. If the young girl is pregnant, another thing again we must never do, we don't do it, is to collect the bride price. We don't collect bride price of any woman who is pregnant. Abata Mon and Mado. A woman who is pregnant is 2. You don't know if the child she has in her womb is a male or female. If she is female and you collect bride price on the head of 2 people, you are sending a wrong spiritual signal to the unborn child. We believe it that way. Whether it is right or whether it is wrong or whether it is superstition or whether it is unproven, or that is our culture. We don't collect the bride price of a woman who is pregnant. This is to discourage our young girls from sleeping around before marriage. Okay? Now, these are things you must never do. So even some people will say, what if they have sex and they don't get pregnant? How will you know? Yes, we will know. After traditional marriage is done, the next activity is deflowering. We call it Imewa Abo. Imewa Abo is an activity that follows the completion of traditional marriage rites. This activity is called deflowering, Imewa Abo. It is in the act of Imewa Abo that a man knows that his wife is or is not a virgin. If she is a virgin, another ceremony is held to celebrate her. If she is not, the whole community knows because the ceremony did not hold. The ceremony to celebrate her did not hold. So, the whole community will know that she is not. If she is, there's a stipulated number of yam tubers that will be sent to the mother and a specified number of drinks that will be sent to the father in appreciation of their daughter's virginity. This is our culture that promotes virginity before marriage for maidens. So, I'm mentioning things you must never do during traditional marriage rites. One of the most prominent of them is very popular now. During traditional marriage ceremonies, the person who is the priest in charge is not a reverend father, is not a pastor. He is the oldest male in that lineage. He is the priest. He is the closest person to the ancestors. In Okwani, they are called Ndiokwa. Ndiokwa, we call them in my place Ndike. These Ndike are 4. The oldest of them, the oldest of these Ndike, we have Ike, which is the men. But among the men, there are 4 who are the oldest 4. These 4 are like the cabinet. Among these oldest 4, the oldest of the 4 is the one who is in charge of this ceremony. He is the priest in charge. He is the one who raises kola nut and blesses. He is the one who raises wine and blesses. He is the one who is in charge of taking the marital vow, blessing wine and giving to his daughter. I'm saying his daughter now because he may not be the biological father, but he is the head of the lineage. He is the diokbala of the lineage. Ogozisi amanya, obueyewan. She should go and locate the man she is to get married to, and she takes the wine, goes to the husband, the would-be husband, and presents the wine. He sips from it, gives her, she sips, and he drinks the rest. Now listen to what I said. He sips from it, she sips, he drinks the rest. He must complete drinking it. If he cannot, he can pass to someone, but he will drink it from it considerably. He doesn't pour it on the ground. This trending thing I'm seeing on social media where people would taste the drink that their father-in-law gave to them and pour it on the ground, it doesn't happen in my community. And I will tell you why it doesn't happen. In my community, this activity that I listed, this activity that I just mentioned, highlighted, holds in her father's house, inside her father's parlor. Please, why are you going to pour the wine on the ground? In their father's ground, on their father's ground, inside their parlor? If it is outside, they can search, and then maybe the husband is hiding somewhere with his brothers, they would give him, he will cunningly throw it away. You don't do that in my community. They're going to attract another fine. And not just fine. When you do this, just know within yourself, tell yourself that I am not married. You have succeeded in not taking the marital oath with your wife. Therefore, she's not under any obligation to you traditionally. There's no obligation she owes you traditionally anymore. She knows. You may not know. If it is adultery, she will commit adultery. All those things they say, if wife does, husband will suffer. This one, she will be doing them, Sarah. Nothing will happen. She's not under any oath. We have three things I na-agọ na Igbo. Anyị na-agọ mmanya, anyị na-agọ ọfọ, anyị na-agọ ọjị. These are the three things I na-agọ. Anyị na-agọ mmụọ. Anyị na-agọ mmanya, na-agọ ọjị, na-agọ ọfọ, na-agọ mmụọ. These four things ka a na-agọ na Igbo. Agọcha mmanya nye ụnụ, agọ ọfọ, agọ ọjị, gọzie mmụọ ka mmụọ dumezie the marriage. Mana agọ ọjị ihe ndị a na-eri n'ọnụ, a na-erikọta for you and your wife to chew. You collect the kola nut, you throw it away. You think you're doing me. You're not doing me. You're doing yourself. But they bring wine. When that elder brings the wine, he first pours some on the ground to the ancestors and then blesses the rest and gives to you. You pour it away. You are making a huge mistake, young man. Maybe nobody has told you, or maybe you have been watching so many Hollywood and Nollywood movies that they told you that don't go and drink or you will die. Your daughter drank it first before they gave it to you. And also, if you don't trust a family, why are you going there to go and marry? A family you don't trust, an evil family. If you feel the family is evil, why go there to marry in the first place? Don't go and kill yourself. If you have any reason to suspect her family that they are evil, therefore you cannot eat anything handed to you, don't go there in the first place, because you're entering a long journey. You're going to have children. Your children are going to go and visit their mother's place. If their mother's place is evil, your children are not safe. So, I don't know. But I need to clarify these things. That is why I'm doing a live video. I've discovered that if I do a recorded video and post, you people don't watch. Yes, you don't watch. Go to my channel now. You will see the last video there. It has about 20 or 30 views. That's video I took time to record. Start recording, I edited and posted. But because it's talking about marriage, people don't watch it. People don't usually think marriage is a topic to be discussed until they start having marital problems. There are lots of things that lead to marital problems and issues in modern day society, especially in this era where women think that they are now the same with men. A woman is not the same with a man. A woman is a different deity in Igbo land. The trees that represent a woman are not the trees that represent a man. We have trees that have laws. We say, nwaanyị anaghị enye n'ụkwụ, nwaanyị anaghị enye n'ọjị, nwaanyị anaghị eme nka, nwaanyị anaghị eme nka. Ụmụkwa ndị asị na nwoke anaghị eme. A man doesn't cultivate cocoyams. There are things that men don't do in our culture. So many, not one, not two. There are so many things that men don't do. There are so many things that a man cannot do in our culture. So, culturally, man and woman are not the same. The female deity, the female representation in Igbo culture is unique. It's not even lower. Nobody can do without it in Igbo land. That is Ani, Eli, Allah, Anna, anyone you call it. No one can do without Ani. It is because of Ani that we are alive. That we eat is because of Ani. Because it is what you give to Ani that it doubles and gives back to you that you feed from. And the Ani is a woman. So you see, without women, our race would have been cut off. So when I see women today calling themselves king instead of queen, instead of the woman cannot be Odogu. They say Odogu rest. They use a tush word to call it Odogu rest, so that the woman can start feeling like a man, acting like a man. No. Feminine energy is different, it's stronger. Do you understand it? So there are things a man cannot do, things a woman cannot do, especially during the traditional marriage rites. The peak of them is the one I just described, where a man pours away the drink. Agola ago, oji agola ago, agozira agozi, were ya tufu, oji eji emo bubando. It is that kola nut that you will use to take oath between you and your wife. They have blessed it. They say you will choose small, she will choose small. You collect it and you throw it away. Or she choose small, you give it to your brother choose. Next week or next month, you start telling the world that your younger brother is sleeping with your wife. Are you a madman? They gave you kola nut. Blessed it, give to the ancestors to eat, give throw on the ground, give to people to eat. Bless the one for you and your wife. Gave the wife, she threw small, gave it to your younger brother or your elder brother or whoever you think is better to die than you, because you feel that cola not to kill you. You now give it to somebody else. If you are not mad, this is what you should know. That person has entered an oath with your wife. You may not know about it, but the forces behind it start pushing the two of them. Tomorrow you start crying on social media. I want imagine my younger brother and Azona university. Because you are a fool. Because you fail to take correction. Because you think everything is a flex, is a joke. Because you think nothing is spiritual, everything is physical. It's how you take your thing that it becomes. Young men and young women, sometimes, like I tell you, I dress this way to show you too that I am a young man. And that I am not just a young man who is an ofeke. I have knowledge. I am also married. I have gone through these processes that I'm telling you about. It's not like they are new to me. And I'm advising you as someone who is about to take the path, or someone who has taken that path and made a little mistake. There are things you can never do and get away with it traditionally. During your traditional marriage rites, as no but I told the Nando, okay, 3 days in a man's life. Is the day he gets married. But Omahu is a naked man. He comes into this world naked, works all his life to achieve everything, still goes empty-handed. So the only day a man knows is the day on one. Affording another one several times just to have a refill of that special moment. So, in that special moment of your life, that moment when you get married, make sure you get it right. Don't allow anybody to deceive you to make the mistake of saying it's because I don't want to die. Your in-laws will now bless, drink, and give to you. You worry, I warn Allah. Who do you think you're fooling? You're not fooling me. You're not even fooling your in-laws. You're fooling yourself. Now that is 1. 2. When you are married into a family, you are now one with them. You are now their son. You are now their son. I don't know if you hear me. In my place, their daughter is now one of you people's lineage. While you are now one of us. Your children cannot come to our family or our lineage to get married. You are now our son. I hope you understand these things that I'm saying. I don't know how to describe it, but I have to use an example. I have to make examples. If I am from Umo Dukobi lineage, and a man from Amachai in, let's say, Enugu State, comes to my family to get married, marries my daughter, all the people of my lineage are now his brothers and sisters. He can come to marry another wife in my lineage if we allow. But his children can no longer come to my lineage to get married. They are now cousins of ours. They cannot come. Their grandchildren cannot even come until 3 generations have passed. We are now related. He is now one of us. That is why you will see some men who understand this. They will take out time and invest heavily in their in-laws' place. Some will think they are being stupid. They are not being stupid. In some communities in Western Igbo land, you will even take that your wife back to her father's house to go and bury. In my place, you don't have to take her back to go and bury if she has given birth to children in your house. But you will bring her back to us, look at her, check if she's our sister, what killed her, I hope she's fine. Is she well taken care of before she died? Before we now accept that she's dead. then you can go and do your funeral rites. We will even be the ones to conduct the funeral rite because she's still our daughter. When people make the jokes that Igbo culture is misogynistic, it does not regard women, I laugh. In death, it is that lineage that gave you a wife. They have given you a wife. They are the ones who still own her body when she dies. We are the ones who will come to conduct her funeral. I have not found time to say what I usually say, but this is Eno and a cultural forum where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. And if you're watching this video, we have over 122 people watching. Please do me a favor to double tap on the video to give it thumbs up. It's not okay that you're watching this kind of video. It has just one thumbs up. 119 people are watching the video that has just one thumbs up. It's not right. So please double tap on the video to give it thumbs up. If I close my eyes now and open it and see 100 thumbs up, it's not out of place because I have over 100 people watching. So please double tap on the video to give it a thumbs up and also share to your audience so that more people can come to watch what we are discussing, to listen to this advice. Now, what I'm saying is this. In Igbo culture, there are things that you cannot do during traditional marriage rites. There are things that you can do and it will have very dire consequences. When I was way younger, a marriage took place. I have a lot of people watching me, especially from family. So that's why I don't like mentioning names. A marriage took place around 1994, 1995. A very big marriage ceremony. After the marriage ceremony, they said the family of the girl refused to accept bride price. And they went home. Later in life, reasons were given why they did not accept bride price. The young girl was already pregnant. And you see bride price. Bride price is the most important thing you can do during traditional marriage. If you go to an in-law's house, you have done everything and you want to pay bride price, they say, no, wait. You know that there's a problem. Ask them what is the problem. Let them tell you. Don't go and say, let's come back when they said we should come back. Ask them what is the problem. If there's a problem, you can now start looking for solutions to it. Solve that problem. If you have not paid the bride price of a woman, she is your girlfriend. If you like, live with her for the last 20 years. You cannot even say she committed adultery anywhere. People will be laughing at you. She's not your wife. Until you have paid bride price, then you can be qualified to say a woman is under oath with you. She cannot commit adultery. But if you have not paid her bride price, she is cohabiting with you. God help you if anything happens to her. You will do her marriage almost 3 times. You will regret it in life. You will marry her in death 2 times. Alive and in death. So there are things you just cannot do in Igbo traditional marriage rites. And I am bringing this knowledge to you as a young person like you so that you can avoid such costly mistakes. Some people have made the mistake and then they later regretted it. Some people have done big marriage ceremonies and they ended up not paying bride price. Later when the marriage started having issues, the woman says, hey, I want to return bride price. They say, sorry ma, there's no bride price to return. Your father did not accept it in the first place. The people did not accept it. Neither did you later push for them to go and pay it. That bride price is the marriage. If a man has not paid a woman's bride price, if you like, let him demolish their house, rebuild it, do big events, keep Coca-Cola standby, keep Nigerian brewery standby, keep all the palm wine tappers standby, call Obo Okonji, revive Oliver the Coke and invite him. As long as you have not paid that 210 naira, 1,000 naira, 500 naira, 50 naira set in Asaba, 210 naira in Obuluku, as it was. As long as you have not paid this chicken change that I mentioned, you are not married, Oga. You only did ceremony. And it is important that you know it. If nobody exposes you to this kind of knowledge or truth, it is important that I do so. Because I am a young person and I am your friend. And you're lucky to be following such a platform where such truth can be revealed. People don't like talking about marriage unless when there's an issue. Unless when they start having marital issues, you see them online crying. There's even a trending thing of, if my husband cheats, I will cheat. There's nothing wrong. All of us will suffer it. 2 of you will not suffer it. A man and woman are not built the same. A man can do as much as he likes in terms of what you call cheating. It is the African society. It's even global. You cannot do it. It is only these Western societies that make laws that tend to favor women in that regard. But in the African traditional society, it is the man that married you. He owns that house. It is not a Western world where they will say, if my husband cheats, I'm going to cheat. And she can take him to court and send him out of his house. You cannot send an African man out of his house in Africa. You will become homeless, or you will go back to your own father's house, or you have money enough to build your own house. In African traditional society, your husband cheats doesn't mean you cheat back. Adultery in the African traditional society discusses a woman, not really a man, as an offense. Because a man can take as many wives as he wants to. And while in the means to take that wife, he can date more women. A woman is regarded as a very big deity that not everybody climbs. And it's not everybody's wife that you sleep with and you go scot-free. This is just it. There are some people's wife you sleep with, that is your end. I don't know this about people's husband. So please, Igbo, we are very wise people. A very, very wise group of people. A very wise ethnic group. Please, some of these mistakes are avoidable. Let's avoid them. If you are willing to get married, go and do your due diligence. Ask questions, especially the one my father told me. Know the mother of your wife. Women often take after their mother. I'm not saying 100%, but know the mother of your wife. If the mother of your wife is a woman who lacks moral character, I don't know who taught your wife the one she will bring into your house. If your mother-in-law is immoral, your wife may likely be immoral. If your mother-in-law lacks respect for elders, for her husband, if she's not industrious, if she's not diligent, I don't know who will have taught your wife the ones she knows. Study your mother-in-law. As a man, I'm also telling you the same. I don't know if your mother-in-law is a single mother, not by virtue of that she lost her husband to death, but that she's separated from her husband. Study her lifestyle. How has she been living? Or how does she live? Some women who are separated from their husband through bitter quarrels raise their own daughters to be spiteful of men, so that when such daughters grow to the age of marriage, they just say, I beg me person just marry or enter house. But she has no regard or respect. She's not willing to bend. She's not willing to respect or be submissive to her husband. That is a problem waiting. That is a problem waiting, a danger you should avoid, a red flag, massive red flag that is waving at you, but you're not looking at it. So please, take precaution. As a young person, take precaution.